Den är också några år gammal, men The Economist gjorde ett reportage om det här projektet.
Bionics, the enhancement of the human body with cutting-edge technology, merging man with machine. Once science fiction fantasy, it's now a global industry. In Europe's most far-flung nation, a bionic revolution is underway.
It's as new as it gets, an extension of the human nervous system.
They're attempting to build powerful machines that can be integrated into the human body, controlled by just thought alone. They could change all our lives.
We're getting closer and closer, and now it's just a matter of time.
One woman at the forefront of the growing bionics industry is Hilda Einarsdottir.
As a young girl growing up, dolls and Barbies were not really my thing, but Lego was being able to play around with these robotic arms and kind of understand how they function.
Hilda's dream is to engineer a bionic system that works as intuitively as her own body.
Working with the human body on a sort of biomechanical level, it makes you realize how perfectly created it is. And we have the perfect sample of where we want to get to in terms of function. That's the human leg. We're quite far along, but that's part of my job to push the boundaries further and further.
Hilda is part of the team at Össur, one of the many companies involved in this emerging industry. Össur has developed some of the most sophisticated prosthetic limbs on the planet. They are now taking their technology a step further by integrating modern electronics into the human body. They are building the world's first brain-controlled bionic leg, joint by joint.
You got enough. Okay.
48-year-old Gummy lost his lower leg over a decade ago. Last year, he agreed to take part in an experiment. Gummy had sensors surgically inserted into his stump to link his central nervous system to a robotic ankle. Our subconscious brain controls movement by sending signals to the appropriate muscles. Gummy's implants convert those signals into electrical impulses that then move his bionic foot.
Just cool. It's the only thing I can describe with it. It's just amazing feeling. All of a sudden you just sit here and you can go, and you can do this, and you can see your ankle move, just like this one. I can move this one, and I can move this one. Just thinking about it. I know it's strange. Sometimes I even forget I have a prosthetic leg.
The team are now trying to combine the brain control technology with their latest innovation. A robotic knee joint with as much turning power as a Harley Davidson.
So it's going to take us about, what, 10 minutes more or a little bit longer, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
Engineer David Jonsson has been working on the power knee for the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's probably like a racing car of the prosthetic world. It does give you the power. It compensates for the muscles that you've already lost. So standing up from a chair, instead of having to do it on your sound side, you can do it on both knees or both legs.
David is the ultimate bionic engineer.
Being an engineer on your own body gives you a different perspective than other engineers. Being able to work on my own leg, trying to improve it and make it do the things that I feel it should do, it's extremely exciting.
Our knees are the most hard-working joints in our bodies, essential to everyday activities like walking, running, sitting and standing. Creating a fully functioning knee joint is crucial to the dream of building a perfectly lifelike bionic leg.
If you had the brain connected to the prosthesis, and you think, now I want the knee to start walking upstairs, and it would just do it for you, just intuitively, as you would if you didn't have the amputation.
Faced with such a tough engineering challenge, Hilda has carefully selected the perfect candidate to trial the brain-controlled bionic knee. And along with her colleague, she's heading deep into the Icelandic countryside to visit him.
Well, I think with David, you always hope that he hasn't completely smashed in his leg.
Yes.
Farmer David Ingvason has a physical job that will push their engineering to the limit. Last year, he had brain-controlled sensors surgically inserted into his leg.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you.
And you? The foot was on the table, and there was no wiring or nothing. Just some sensors on me and some stuff, and they okay. Now move the foot, and I did, and that was amazing. The feeling was really, really special. I almost get a tear in my eyes. But I'm from Iceland, so we never get a tear in my eyes.
Yeah? All right, I'm good when you are.
David's sensors will soon be linked to the new bionic knee.
And then we speed it up?
And he's coming for a fitting in a few days' time.
It's really great to be asked to be the first person to do this, because I think that's going to be a breakthrough. Everything okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Modern prosthetics are levelling the playing field for amputees. The team at Össur believe their bionic technology also has the potential to reduce the impact of ageing and help us all stay mobile for longer.
People are becoming more independent as they grow older, and so people that were maybe sitting on a sofa 20 years ago, they would now be going skiing. So the need for technology to assist and allow that is obvious.
92-year-old Gunnar is the team's oldest test user. 6 months ago, he was fitted with his first bionic leg.
It's such a valuable thing for us to be able to work with him on new products, and because he gives us feedback for that kind of age group that we so need to cater for.
This shows that you have walked 3 to 4 kilometers an hour. Pretty good for your age.
You think so?
Yes, I think so. That's about the same speed as me and Hilda walk.
No.
As our elderly population grows, so will the global bionics industry, extending the life of aging limbs and restoring the function of damaged ones. In the next 5 years alone, the industry is expected to exceed $20 billion in sales.
It makes all the difference. All the difference. Keeps you alive.
For Hilda and the team, it's crunch time.
Så är det bara forskning då. Forskning kan också leda till någonting som man kanske inte trodde. När det gäller fantomsmärtor till exempel. Och om man tittar framförallt på de som är armamputerade. Så har man faktiskt sett att genom att använda artificiell intelligens, i det här fallet virtual reality eller VR, och kunna se då att genom att använda tekniken så kan man faktiskt bli hjälpt och kanske inte helt bli kvitt med fantomsmärtor. Men reducera dem ganska kraftigt. Vidare har man också kunnat se att genom de här nya teknikerna som man då är tvungen att använda när man opererar för att kunna använda de här, så har det haft positiva bieffekter. Där man då tror, man kan väl inte dra fulla slutsatser, men genom att ge nerverna en typ av uppgift så har det visat sig då att smärtan reduceras. Så vad erbjuder vi på Össur då? Vad har forskningen lett till? Som nämndes i filmen så pratar man om en powered knee. Och vi har haft en produkt som kallas just för powered knee. Och vi har precis lanserat en ny uppdaterad version av den. Och nu ska jag visa er lite marknadsmaterial så ni får ta det för vad det är. Det är marknadsmaterial. Innan jag lämnar över till min kollega Anton här som har ett power knee på sig.
My name is Jenny Arrivas, and I'm a survivor. 4.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. It was ready to blow through my whole body, so I had to have a double mastectomy. 3 years later, I was in the hospital with kidney failure, and that caused blood clots. And I ended up with 11 blood clots total, and then we ended up having to schedule amputation. When I learned that they had to amputate my leg, it was an oh my God moment. I knew it had to be done because there was nothing left we could do. So we had to amputate. And here I am now. 2 days after my amputation, Corey and Brittany came to see me and invited me to their office. I told them I needed a leg, I needed to walk, and they gave me my first leg, and 4 days after that I was walking. This power knee is my final graduation present, and it is awesome.
Okay, come on back. Perfect. And your alignment looks fantastic.
And it feels good.
Okay, let's have you come have a seat.
Okie dokie. Corey brought the box in, and then he opened it, and it was like a James Bond movie. This power knee was in it, and he said, "This is yours." Then he let me hold it, and I said there was no way I could walk with that. It's too heavy. And I started walking with it, and it's like walking on air. This power knee helps me. It reads my body. It reads my movements. It doesn't let me fall. It will pick me up if I fell. It's amazing. It's just purely amazing. It's got a lot of power to it. I zip. When I got this leg, I got my freedom back.
Så jag ska lämna över till Anton. Och Anton kan kanske lite mer utifrån ett användarperspektiv förklara You want to mic up?
I can try. I kommer inte till förstå mig oavsett. So because I'm English, living in Denmark, I'm still in Sweden, right? And I'm talking to Norwegian people, I'm going to speak in English, otherwise I get so confused. I'm not prepared for this, but I just thought that was really moving, that story, and I can only back it all up. I have got the power knee on today, as you can see. I just thought I'd give some user feedback so that if anyone's got any questions about it, I would give them. The first thing that came in my mind was what she mentioned at the end, Jenny there, was the weight of it. It is heavy, but the first thing I noticed with the previous generation was because it's heavy and it's doing the work for you, you're not the one swinging it. It swings itself. And when it's in front of you, it actually feels like it's pulling you forward because it's heavy, so you feel this kind of... So it's actually helping you walk forward rather than making it more difficult to swing it because it's doing it for you. What I really like about it is the fact that I don't feel that it's hard work to stand. You know when you get to about plus 45 and it's like, okay, you have to stand up now. You can't do it without making a noise, but now I can do it with just making this noise. I used to go like this, like that, and now I just say, wait a minute, can you hear it? Okay, and now I just say this. Maybe not. He's like, you have to fix this. Nope. There we go, just make one small noise. As I say, it's not 100% set up for this thing today. But one thing I did want to show you is, I don't know if it's the perfect knee for you, but I want to show you why I think it's the perfect knee for me. I have a house on the coast in Denmark by the sea, and there's also woods around me. I have 2 Great Dane dogs, you know, the big ones. So I walk with them every day on the beach, through the woods. Just have to put this in somewhere. Do you know this app, Do you know this app, the fitness app? This one here on your phones, anyone's got that one? I use it not religiously, but I use it just to keep a little bit of a track of what I'm doing, how much activity I'm doing. And every day this is today, for example, I haven't filled up I don't know exactly what it's looking for here, but I have a move goal, and I have an exercise goal, and I have a stand goal. And then you can see here that, when I have a step goal, I do about 10,000 steps a day, usually with my dogs. What I thought was interesting is when I looked at this app after having tried the power knee. So this is May. You can see that I have sort of good days and bad days. Days where I might have a Saturday and I don't do very much that day. And then I might have a very, busy Wednesday or something. What I thought, though, was quite interesting is when I looked, so this is April, this is March, and this is February, January, and then towards the end of last year, I got the chance to borrow a power knee for a couple of months. Can you see the screen? And see if you can work out which months it was that I got the power knee. And I didn't know that was happening. I just saw it afterwards, but basically what that meant is while I had the power knee, I was living a life without limitations. I remember when I became amputated, and it does get better as you become more and more experienced, but when I became amputated, some of you that know me may understand this very well, but it took me a long time to learn to be a slow Anton and not the Anton that I always used to be. I'm such an impulsive person, I'm very restless, I don't think about if I have to do something or not have to do for it, but tiredness does actually get in the way sometimes. When you're tired, then that's like, oh no, I'm too tired to do this. But somehow, when I had the power knee on, I wasn't thinking about this at all. I just did whatever I wanted to do. I got up whenever I wanted to go. And it's clear to me that with this knee on, I was able to be a different me than I am with a passive knee on. So as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to everybody, but for me, this is very, very clear that it is offering me a life without limitations. And to a certain extent, maybe I am a little bit limited without that. I'm certainly not being the same person, and it was every single day for almost 3 months. So it wasn't like I was, trying really, really hard and then I need to have a day off. Apparently, this is the kind of potential that I have under normal circumstances, but this is what I'm making do with most of the time. That was all I really wanted to say. Actually, just a thing about the dog walking that I did that is also special to the Power Knee is it's on uneven terrain, as you know, but it's on the beach and it's in the woods. And in the woods, you're either going to have lots of dead leaves, right? And it's not going to be flat, or you're going to have a lot of long grass. And on the beach, you're going to have the sand. You know how difficult it is to walk on sand? This thing, it just kicks through whatever. It kicks through the sand, it kicks through the grass, nothing stops it. You'll be walking along and you'll see sand going. You don't have to look down. I don't know what you're like when you're walking in the woods and stuff, but most people look like this, and we tend to look like this. We have to kind of look like this and keep a thing. With this one on, I don't have to think about anything. And you might be able to hear it as well. Personally, because it is moving on its own, the fact that I can hear it is reassuring, because as I'm walking along and I'm not looking down at the terrain below me, I can hear, oh yes, it has kicked through that sand. Yes, it has kicked through the thing. Yes, it is going the right speed I want it to. So for me, I actually really appreciate the audio feedback that I get from it, because it just means that I can just look. And the Power Knee, you may have heard of intuitive stance. Some passive knees have something called intuitive stance, and you sort of stand in it for a bit and it holds, or some of them you can hold with a little bit. This one doesn't have intuitive stance, it just has stance. You put it down and it's there. It doesn't matter when you put it down, how you put it down, how long you put it down for, it's just there. It's always going to be for there. If you want, you can walk like this and it's always going to be there for you. It's not going to stop or get stuck or anything. So it's just nice because you don't have to think about, okay, can I stop now? Can I not stop now? Is this okay? Is that okay? It's just there. Okay, now I'm done.